Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Suppose you're, really like preparing for the weekend, as somebody I can tell you about now. Well, my guest this morning is Dr. Fasi Yusuf, lawyer and communications consultant. You know him as a friend of the house. But then the way I see Fasi dressed this morning, I think I'd better refer to him by his proper title as of Bagbimo of Ijebuland. I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't en route to Ijebuland this morning.
Actually, the power of the media brought me down. Ordinarily, my weekends are spent outside Lagos.
There you go.
Yes, I must go home to attend to my people. My people.
Indeed. So thank you very much for coming on, Fasi.
My pleasure.
Okay, then. But still serious business, because we are operating a democracy, and, there's freedom of speech and freedom of association within limits and all of that. And then, so how do we now take the news that the Senate, yet again, the Senate has suspended another senator. This time, it's Senator Ovie Omoagege. And that's because some aspects of his exercising his freedom of speech did not go down well with the body. Of course, the situation to this is that Senator Omoagege had spoken up and said that, look, the amendment of the Electoral Act of 2010 was actually to order in order to be able to...
especially the aspect.
Especially the aspect of reordering the election in, for the elections was actually aimed at President Muhammadu Buhari. They didn't take kindly to this, and a petition was sort of filed on the instigation of Senator Dina Melaye. All due processes were observed, and he's been found culpable. Now he's been suspended. The whole idea was to suspend him for a whole legislative year, but I understand the Senate President intervened and pleaded with them to make the sentence no more than 90 days. So here we have it, second time in recent memory that the Senate has suspended one of its own for stepping out of line. So where is the part of democracy and all of this? If you say something that goes against the body, then you're due for suspension?
Honestly, Yori, to my mind, I can simply say this is legislative rascality. It is Napoleonistic tendency that our legislators, who ought to be the champions of a democracy, will now condescend to that ignoble role of stifling opinions that are different from what the leadership is holding.
Okay.
It's a sad commentary. It's a sad commentary. And I don't feel too happy about it as an analyst. I see it as portending a dangerous signal that you must toe the line, otherwise you'll be cowed. I mean, honestly, the leadership must examine itself and see whether it's actually practicing democracy or totalitarianism.
As an analyst now, looking at it as it were without any bias, what would you say to the idea that perhaps the Senate felt that it was bringing their reputable house
into disrepute?
Into disrepute.
To the contrary.
To
the contrary. You see?
So by saying things that could cause trouble between it and the executive.
Excuse me, ordinarily.
By alleging that PMB was the target of this legislative move.
Ordinarily, the minority should have its say.
Okay.
And the majority should have its way. Look at Sani, the senator from Kaduna.
Yes, okay, yes. Who spoke the other day?
Shehu Sani. Who made the disclosure about the 13.5 million special allowance or special grant, monthly grant, that the fiscal and the commission said it was an illegal allocation. Nothing was done to that. Did anybody in the House mandate him to say it? No, but because it was selective judgment, selective resolution, and again, the signals emanating from the National Assembly. I'll just point to the fact that once you don't toe the line, then you are sort of the of the field.
But this matter about their dignity, their integrity as a legislative body, I'm just looking at it from their point of view for the moment,
Yes.
and saying that, look, you can't be saying things that would set us against the executive. When you make a statement such as, and I'm imagining from their point of view, we're doing our best to come up with laws for good governance, and here you are saying that we're targeting the president. Now, is that supposed to help relations? And why would you do that?
So, are you saying because it's in the National Assembly, it's in the Senate, therefore, he can no longer hold any opinion? The Constitution is very clear on it. The Constitution is very clear. The United Nations resolution is very clear. The African Charter on Human and People's Rights is very clear. You can hold an opinion. It does not mean because you belong to the body, stricto sensu, you must comply or you must toe the line.
But if they see his utterance, his position as mischievous, it's one thing for it to be fundamental human.
It could be chastised, it could be cautioned.
Okay.
It could do so many other things.
But not that
Not that you
sanction.
deny his people.
Because there's that aspect to this.
About 2 or 3 million people.
Yes.
Representation. The court has ruled that the National Assembly has no power. The Senate, neither the Senate nor the House of Representatives, they don't have power to deny any constituency representation in the National Assembly.
Which is the effect of what? Which is the effect?
Because you are saying now for 90 days,
what happens.
For 90 legislative days,
Yes.
there will be no representation. Any matter coming from that part of the country will not be aired there, and nobody will be there to hold their views, to represent them.
That's probably why they need to.
This is not animal kingdom.
Animal farm. So maybe that's why they need to take another look at it, because beyond, quote unquote, punishing the individual, senator, there's this whole matter you've just brought up about representation. So all of the people, in his constituency just won't have any representation.
Okay.
Maybe that's why
the mistake of Omar Sagi now is not being visited on about 2 million people.
If you call it a mistake, since you
assuming, without conceding, assuming without conceding, the mistake of Omar Sagi or the recklessness or the misjudgment of Omar Sagi is not being visited on over 1.5 million electors.
Okay, well, maybe that's why Senate President Saraki came in and sort of pleaded for an amelioration of the sentence. But you're not impressed.
It's Badadash. As the Senate President, he has the power, he has the authority to sway discussions. To sway discussions. And don't forget that this will have been discussed at the caucus meeting, at the Senate leadership meeting, before it was brought to the floor.
I understand that, yeah, I think one committee, the ethics probably.
Committee, yes.
They talked about this and arrived at their resolution.
And again, don't forget that the thing has been on, that committee submitted, the report was ready over 12 days ago. Because you remember, Omar Sagi went to court on the 3rd of April to stop the Senate from acting on that report. And the court said, look, you cannot bring it by way of ex parte motion. You must put the other party on notice so that there will be a balance in the equation. Because it means you are trying to put the judicature, the judiciary, pitch it against the Senate. Put the Senate on notice, the leadership on notice, come back, we'll hear the case. But it has been decided. It's a decided case. Although the last has not been had, it has not gone to the Supreme Court. So we will know what the highest court of the land would say. But for now, the court has said that the Senate has no power to deny a constituency representation.
Which is what would happen when you suspend any legislative officer.
Yeah, any member.
Yes, any member of either house.
Yes.
This is what it means. Additionally, and a bit curiously, since my theory that, my personal theory that perhaps they're saying that trying to cause disaffection between us and the executive is not on, and so we're taking
so many disaffections.
Of course, now.
There have been so many disaffections.
Because I wanted to bring up the other matter, that the other thing in the parcel for, Senator Magege is that now there's this whole, well, it's not for him, but there was the recommendation made that the pro-Buhari so-called parliamentary support group needs to be disbanded in the Senate. So if on the one hand, here I am theorizing that, you know, there's no big deal about, I mean, that perhaps they're thinking that you're messing up our relations with the executive. That's my theory. Now, which one is this one where they're saying that, and by the way, the pro-Buhari parliamentary support group in the Senate needs to be disbanded? So it's sending discordant signals, so you don't even know how they feel, what is their disposition to the president.
Even at that, the whole world knows that I'm not a politician, although every human being is a political animal. But we as public analysts, public affairs analysts, we need to bring issues to the fore for people to really think and decipher and to be able to analyze and form opinions. The point is this: if you have a parliamentary support group, it is not officially known to the Senate.
That's right.
So what is the business of the Senate interfering with association of people, of legislators of like minds? Exactly. Of like minds. Exactly. To my mind, that is the business. I mean, it is not in the books of the Senate that, well, we have considered a parliamentary support group for Buhari or whatever, or for Atiku or for whatever. The point is, people should be free. This is the beauty of democracy.
Okay, it looks like the Senate seems to want it.
I mean, we are talking about bastions of democracy. We're talking about Britain, we're talking about America, we're talking about Canada, we're talking about France. I mean, if you look at this, even up to this moment, Trump is not able to push in all his activities, or what he has to do, and not the chambers there. They're trying to modify what Trump is trying to do. And that has not brought in any rancor. And they've not suspended those pro or those against.
No, you don't do that.
So
no.
Why should you now ask people not to have a support group for anybody? It's not the business of the Senate to do that. Okay. I mean, this is a meeting of like minds.
Madam Josephine, thank you for holding on. Good morning.
Uncle Yori, you have kept me waiting for too long.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guest there.
Indeed.
Good morning, madam.
Yeah, this matter is very, very funny. You know, they said a house divided together will not stand. This chambers, 8 chambers, is dominated by APC senators. So if since it's happening, you're asking, they are the one fighting themselves. If they say they want to change the sequence of election, I believe president is not the only one vying for that position. There will be different people coming from that perspective. But if you are telling the people, giving the impression that they are targeted at the president, it's not good in the House, and it will really cause problems between the executive and the legislature. So he knew that he was wrong for saying it. That's why he went to the floor to apologize. I must be frank with you, he has done it wrong, because when the matter came out, they sent it to the ethics and privilege people, and they were looking onto it. What happened next? After apologizing, he went to court. You can see he's not doing it right. He should have waited for what we come out for, the ethics and privilege.
Okay.
To hear what they want to say, you don't have to go to court. Why did you apologize if you know you are not wrong?
All right, then.
At least they have their ethics, they have what, they have their rules in their house.
Sure thing.
He knows it.
So, Senate...
He's not supposed to do that.
So, Senate is on course on this one.
Do go for what you are supposed to go for. If the House is, they want to pass a law, a bill, you are supposed to support them. If it's not okay, but if there is a way you go about it,
all right.
Now what you have said is affecting your people. Say what concern your people. Not worry, Mr. President, to fight his own battle. He has the popularity, he has people, not that one. You are forwarding. This is forwarding.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Josephine. Appreciate your call. Indeed. So, because there were different strokes for different folks. Now, as I suggested, and I was just theorizing, that the Senate might adopt the attitude that you're going to call, you can't be a member of this honorable house. No, distinguished is what they call themselves. You can't be a member of this distinguished house and be causing disaffection between us and the president, thereby saying that...
Excuse me. Yes. No, I'm not going to even address that aspect.
Yes.
But supposing we're going to address that aspect, let's look at it this way. Which one will cause more harm? Telling the whole world that the Senate is receiving, every senator is receiving 13.5 million every month.
No, which one is more damaging to the Senate?
Which one is more damaging to the Senate? something that will turn the whole country against them. And yet, some people have been saying that we should go out and find out how much they receive. They did not tell us. So something that was not told, something that was not said, how are we? Something that was hidden somewhere. Now one of them now got up to say, yes, this is what we receive. And another senator from Rivers State said, yes. When he was saying it, it was shut down. So to me, that was more damaging.
Okay.
And there have been so many things in the past that have brought the Senate and the executive into conflicts. There are so many things.
Yes, but they want...
why is this particular one the issue?
Okay, maybe because it's very, very sensitive.
What's sensitive about it?
Well, given the lie of the ground, and, as you said...
What's our own business about that? We are just voters. We go there to vote. If they ask us to vote for the councillors first or the president first, that's what we do. But the point is that he has the right to accept or not to accept.
You know,
so coming out to express his mind, to my mind, has not done any damage.
And
what they are doing now is to escalate the whole thing, and to make, at the end of the day, they will make Omasage a champion.
Something of a hero. Okay, Yakub, you're also there. Good morning. Good morning, Yakub.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, sorry. It's Mr. Olalekan.
Yeah, Olalekan from London.
Is it Olalekan from UK?
Yes.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. What I just want to say is the last caller that called, the woman, right? As far as I'm concerned, she's very biased. You know what? The Senate has no right to suspend anyone. The same woman have called this program, have criticized Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is bought all Lagos State, which is not fair for that woman to allow her to be insulted.
Wait, excuse me. I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I'd like you to concentrate on the comments, if you want, that you've just heard today that relates to this topic. Please don't go back into the past. You know how it is. You can't be referring to last week's newspaper.
I understand.
Thank you.
You are trying to moderate.
Yes, I really am trying, and I don't want to distract us.
You are trying to moderate in appropriate ways, which is good. But to be honest, we have to say the fact that woman was representing the PDP. No.
Sorry, you can't call and be talking about a guest and be putting all this theorizing. I'm so sorry. That's her own argument. And one of the things we love about this program is that we let everybody say it the way they see it, within reason.
Within the
confines of decency, within the confines of the law, within the confines of the broadcast code. You can't go out of that. And there's plenty that you can do within those confines that I've just spoken about. So I'm so sorry, Mr. Olalekan. We don't want to interrupt whatever you have to say, but we don't want you to talk about any other person.
It's contribution to the program.
Yes. Thank you very much for calling in. So there will be different strokes for different folks.
You can ask him if he wants to say something.
I think he has left. Mr. Olalekan has left. He's gone. But please bear that in mind. Most of our guests, anyhow, obey these unwritten rules.
Yes.
Nobody reads them out. It's just that we've come to understand ourselves, and we know that we have a responsibility. Please keep on just being what you already are, and keeping the program as clean as we can. So different strokes for different folks. Now, we've heard, and I had suggested, I had even theorized that, look, maybe the Senate wants to get all its ducks in a row because it needs to have an organized house. And I don't know, they might be saying the way we're going about this whole matter about freedom of speech, that's not it. We've got to have a house that can't be described as unruly. There's plenty of reason for senators to dissent. But to now bring up something fresh, using the parameters of freedom of speech, something out of character or totally opposite to what they are doing, I don't know how much we can blame Senate for saying, hang on, are you one of us or are you not one of us? It doesn't mean you have to agree with everything we say, but you can't be, quote unquote, sabotaging our efforts. You don't see it like that.
If you follow the Senate carefully, there have been several cases of infraction in the past. Several cases of infraction in the past, and not much happened. Mm-hmm. If the man was magnanimous enough to apologize.
Yes.
On the floor.
Which he did.
Which he did. I think he should have stopped there.
Yes.
So if they needed to caution him or to lambast him, that would be enough. But you cannot suspend somebody.
Because you are suspending
a group of people.
His representation.
More than 1 million people.
Okay. Yakub, thank you for holding on. You're also there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chief Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And then good morning, Dr. Fazil.
Good morning.
I think, Chief Yori, I quite understand what you are doing in the studio. For me, I have right to my own personal opinion, like others. But sometimes, if I make a wrong impression, I think some other caller need to start to correct me. That is what the last caller is trying to do, but I think, as you rightly say, you are trying to moderate it. We are all political animals, and then in our field, we should know where we belong to. And then I was never hiding where I belong to since inception. Having said that, I think in another way, you should know what I'm saying. I could have commented about the woman calling from Lagos, but Madam Dotsi, let me just keep that aside for today. Let me go straight to the point, sir. I would say that, Chief Jory, you see, animal kingdom, let me give you some instances here. You remember Ali Idume? What Ali Idume did that time? It says, I read in a newspaper today that something goes with our Senate president about the car deal and all that. What happened? What happened? What happened is that they suspended Senate. Another thing happened. You see, Nigeria is just, we are just docile. If you remember Ablumimi in Jubri, what did man say? He said they are padding budget in the House of Assembly. What did the National Assembly to do to him? They suspend him. Where is the civil society organization? Where is the Nigerian Student Union? Where is the Labor Union? Nigeria, we are too docile. We live Ablumimi in Jubri for almost a year, if not more than, to go. Now, Omagege, what did man say? He said something that what you are doing is targeting Mr. President. Did you commit any offense? If you dare commit any, the same person now come to the Senate and apologize. If you did that, you recognize the apology by the man. I don't think the Senate need to consult the committee again. Now you suspend the man who is going to represent his constituency, and then you not go further that the pro-Buhari, the legislative should be banned before you can break down to 90 days. Chief Yori, I can tell you, some senators, including
I'm not sure if those two are linked. I'm not sure. The motion to disband the pro-Buhari parliamentary support group, I'm not sure if it's linked to the Omagege case.
I listened to them this morning in other sessions.
All right, then.
It is for Omagege that if Omagege wants them the Senate President say that if Senator Omagege to decrease that long 180 days to 90 days, you should ban the pro-Buhari legislature that is a member of it.
Okay,
how can you say that?
Okay.
Nigerian people should stand up to protect this thing because this is an impunity in highest order. The Senate President is already have all the senators, some of the senators in his pocket. Look at Shehu Sani. Shehu Sani make a very bad thing that Senate should be suspended him. If they are just do justice to it.
All right. Yakub.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in. We just need to be quite careful with our language. You guys know it. You don't need me to lecture you on this. For instance, Yakub, one of our great callers, you say somebody has other people in their pocket, not the most complimentary of expressions. I'm saying that there's plenty of scope to express yourself within the confines of acceptability. I won't say any more. Because no senator is in anybody's pocket. It's just that the leadership apparently wants to get all its ducks in a row. And this, I entirely see Yakub's point. What he's saying.
I've never seen a rulerless, a directionless administration as what we have now. First of all, fundamentally, the APC is a political party of strange bedfellows.
That's right.
Largely populated by ex-PDP gladiators. they are one leg in, one leg out, and others are sitting on the fence. Otherwise, things cannot be as disorganized, as disoriented as we have now. It's the same political party in the executive, constituting the majority in the legislature.
Yes.
And yet, we've never had a disorganized administration as we have now. It is very sad.
But it can't be any other way, because you started off by saying it is made up of strange bedfellows. All of us know the reason why.
Yes, and once they have assumed power, they ought to have put their house in order.
Okay.
See, the problem started the day President Buhari made that statement, that it's not for anybody, it's for everybody. And that he's not interested in whoever became the Senate President, nor the Speaker and other members of the leadership.
The president was being idealistic at the time. He was being idealistic. He was thinking that merit is what concerns me.
In politics, you have to be pragmatic.
Exactly.
Pragmatism. Pragmatism, it is. We are having the effect now. Because this is April now. The budget has not been passed. For a political party that are constituted the executive, that has the majority in both houses. So you can imagine that the whole thing is in disarray. And at the end of the day, the grass is sovereign. By the grass, I mean the fifth estate of the realm, the people. We are paying the price for the disorganization, disorientation, disillusionment in APC. And that's not good for our own development. The country is being pulled back. And that's very sad.
The repair of APC, so to speak, is a work in progress, as you know. It's not the easiest job.
Well, if you are an advocate of APC, good for you. But it's not for me to say whether APC is a work in progress or PDP is a work in progress.
No.
It's for them to decide. You are not to hold that opinion.
Well, I am going by what has been put out in the public domain. It is.
You can say that they say it's a work in progress.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
But you said it's a work in progress.
Okay, you're correct.
Are you Abdullahi
that
now?
I didn't attribute it.
Are you Abdullahi?
That I didn't attribute it.
Are you Abdullahi now?
That I agree with you. That I didn't attribute it. That the newspapers are awash with efforts of the ruling party to set its house in order.
We pray they set the house in order. Otherwise, the other political parties that will present candidates, we'll see. February next year, March next year, we'll see. But the point I'm making is that if they are not careful, APC will only be there for these 4 years. By May 29, we'll see another political party providing the president. So if they love themselves, if they want to still be there, they should come together, put the house in order, and stop all this infighting and the type of things we are seeing now.
Let's stay here a bit. Now, as you said, one has to be pragmatic in politics. Maybe idealism is fine in many places. Maybe politics is not one of them. And so I understand when you say people have to be pragmatic. Perhaps that's part of what's going on. Perhaps Senator Magege is being sacrificed on the altar of whatever
expediency,
it is.
Political expediency.
That, look, why are you speaking about that? Why are you trying to cause this disaffection?
Listen, we have opposition in Lagos State. The APC is in the executive in Lagos State. It's also a majority in the House of Assembly. Do you see all this rancor? They disagree, yes, but this is a model for the federal government to adopt. They should find a way of reconciling themselves.
But the two are totally different. Absolutely and totally different.
What is different?
For example, the Lagos State House of Assembly is a much more homogeneous house than...
How do you mean?
All of them.
You have people there?
Yes.
You have other people there?
But these are all, at least all these people have properly, I'm going to guess now, properly taking whatever is the oath of, proper...
What was the oath?
Proper,
They cannot take any oath outside the Constitution.
I know, but what I'm saying is that they seem to be a homogeneous...
what stops the federal from being homogeneous?
And that is what we're talking about. You've said that
I've said,
strange bedfellows.
Yes, but
maybe
I've
not
said,
too many of
yes.
those strange bedfellows found their ways into the LSHA.
Excuse me, when strange bedfellows find themselves coming together for a particular purpose, and what that purpose has been achieved, it's now for them to see, look, okay, we have received this thing one way or the other. How can we now enhance or stabilize what you have got?
Yes.
And that is what APC has not done at the federal level.
Okay, let's come back and talk about this because it's a subject that we've been talking about for a long time.
There's no way
we know why.
We cannot divorce APC at the federal level
from
what is happening within the executive and the
State Houses of Assembly?
legislature.
Okay. Stay with us, please. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. The many problems of the Nigerian legislature, indeed, and the ruling party as well. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back. We're having this interesting conversation about, in the first instance, it's about the Senate yet again suspending one of its own. It has suspended Ali Dume, different circumstances. Now it has suspended Senator Omo Agege for,
indiscretion.
Well, from their point of view, because it's the ethics committee, I understand it's a petition put up by Senator Dino Melaye. It was looked at, and now he got the boot. Saraki pleaded amelioration of the sentence is being reduced. But we were, as Fasi was saying...
Before
sure,
the
sure.
So can I just correct what, was it Madam Eunice, or what was her name?
Yes.
The first scholar.
Yes.
You see, the Privileges Committee submitted its report to the leadership. And Omo Agege only went to court on the 3rd of April after having a hint about the outcome of the investigation and the report submitted. It was not before, it was then. And it took a while for them to consider that report. The leadership will have considered the report before bringing to the plenary session.
Sure.
And don't forget that in the National Assembly, they don't sit on Mondays and Fridays. So they sit only 3 days in a week, and perhaps they use other days
for the
side functions or whatever, committees and all the rest. So you need to understand the workings of the National Assembly before we really before we can make any informed opinion about the operation.
Okay, but still, thank you for that clarification. So it's like when it seems, therefore, from the explanation you've given, it seems, therefore, that after apologizing, why did they then go on to court? That's what you've just explained,
yes.
That sometimes there can be a lie.
Well, yes, when he saw that the report was again recommending that he be suspended.
In spite of his apology?
Yes.
Yes.
But what the court has said now is that, yes, the court will not want to be in conflict or at loggerheads with the legislature. There should be a balance of the equation. Put them on notice.
Yes.
An ex parte motion does not require the other party. It's only one side. It's one-sided. That is, based on the information before the court, we'll take this position. But the court has said no. Put the other parties on notice, or those other involved on notice, and you come back. So the court has not taken a final decision on that matter.
Indeed. So,
but as I said, for now, what is standing is that the legislature has no right to suspend any member and to deny his constituency or our constituency representation.
Adeshola is calling in from Oshogbo, I understand.
Yeah.
Ayon Shola, good morning.
Ayon Shola from Oshogbo, yes, sir.
Okay, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for this beautiful topic you brought today, this morning.
Thank you.
And your panelists. Please, sir, I believe it's enough for this country. This is not what we needed at this point of time. Insecurity is on, people are being killed, It's not suspension or no suspension. Why can't the Senate people say, Rose and give us a formula to end this bloodshed in Nigeria?
Yes.
Not the suspension of this. People, we don't know who will live till 2019. People are killing themselves because of 1919 now, scheming. What is all this? Let them address the insecurity issue. APC is the problem against themselves. You understand me? If Buhari have made a mistake by saying it belongs to nobody, I think it should not be a mistake that His Noble Excellency, Dr. Olusola Saraki, has been made the president of this third Senate, please.
Okay.
Let them readdress themselves and give us a way forward. Not suspension and no suspension. Let's discuss the problem of Nigeria in the House, not all this
all right.
suspension and no suspension, loyalty or no loyalty, 1919 EU. Thank you, the brilliant discussions. Yes, sir.
Dr. Fassi, thank you very much.
Yes, you see, in support of the last caller, the problem with the current legislation is that it is self-seeking and self-serving. There are more fundamental issues bedeviling this country. At one time, they were talking about Dino Menadage.
Yes.
That turned himself into a singer, composer, and director in the Senate. That his boss had to caution him. These are issues, personal issues, being discussed on the floor of the Senate. Security issues that can backwardise and destabilize us. Just this week, we have been told that we are 198 million people. 198 million people. And you remember that time, I don't know if it was America that said this, or Britain, or an envoy from either of these two countries that said it, that look, we're not concerned about your economy. We're not concerned about industrialization. We are concerned about your security. Because you have 198 million people. If anything should happen to your country, we are finished. You know what? Simple Sierra Leone there, less than 10 million. The war there affected us.
That's right.
Now imagine a country of 198 million people being in disarray. We will spread to every part of Africa. We will take over America. We will take over Germany. We will take over Britain. We will take over Canada, to the detriment of the economy and to the detriment of the people. Well, look at the ordinary exodus of Nigerians to these countries. You know what is costing them? And look at what Trump said. So we need to be very careful. You see, we are not addressing fundamental issues bedeviling this country, issues that are holding us down from achieving our potentials. We are busy addressing mundane issues, and again, they should see themselves as best of passage.
How fair do you think this is to the Senate?
I'm not finished, I'm coming. You see, this reminds me of immediately after the Civil War, when there was this altercation between Zik and Ukwabi Sika, the administrator of his central state. When he said, no condition is permanent, says the Mami Wagon that applies the ill-maintained Enugu and Njia road, that sooner than later, all these people become X this, X that. You see, we must remember history. You see, the problem is that we forget easily.
How can you really blame Senate totally? Let me explain myself quickly what I mean. The press, you know, the mass media, seems to, you know, take what it will and want to report on that, and then sometimes they will say that there's stuff that's going on, but you guys don't see that. But the ones that are sensational, you guys will now tebati, as we say.
Look, the media, as we know, you are a professional, I'm a professional, thrives on sensationalism. And again, you need to look at the economics of the media. Economics of the media will teach you that, look, the press, being the purveyor of news, we want to sell to the society what it wants to hear.
Okay, exactly.
So if you are not selling the news they want to patronize, they will not patronize you. We don't make the news. We report and we analyze the news.
Yes. And we tend to select what we want to report because there's a commercial aspect. It is everywhere.
Even your memory has
selection. Okay.
Tendency.
You're right there. Let me quickly bring in Super is the name in VI. Good morning, Super.
Good morning, Akuyati.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today, sir?
Thank you for calling. Very well, thank you.
And I was
Yes. Go on, please.
Akuyati, just one thing. Sorry. As Madam Josephine B. But she has
No. Super.
Let him learn now. Let him learn. Let him learn.
Super. I thought you wanted to contribute to the issue today.
Let him go ahead. Let him learn.
He's even gone.
See now, you annoyed him.
Well, I'm so sorry if I annoyed you. But please.
You are stifling public opinion.
I'm not stifling. I'm trying to. We have an objective. We want to talk about this subject matter. But unfortunately, the people want to refer to something that happened 3 days ago.
You are not NBC. And you are not the broadcasting. You are not the custodian of the broadcasting code.
But we are professionals.
I know.
But we are professionals.
Am I not?
Of course you are. But you've got to understand the situation that's going on here. They are trying to bring back a 3-4-day-old subject. And I'm saying, with due regard, can we please take care of today?
You should have allowed him to even say one sentence. The man is gone now. 2 people have gone.
Fassi, I'm not sure about you again.
You don't need to be sure. I'm an analyst.
I'm not sure about you again.
It all depends on the issue. That will determine my position.
Okay. So thank you very much. So sorry, Mr. Super, for calling in. I was a bit suspicious of that particular name, Mr. Super.
Super.
So that if Super is coming on and his name is Super.
I've gotten the proper name.
And the name is Super. If I'd given me a proper...
It could be a pseudonym.
But you see, again, you see how we distract ourselves. Although it's important to Super, surely you understand the position, because we have this responsibility to the code. There's an ethical code, there's a broadcast code, and that doesn't concern the viewer outside. I understand that, but it still is our responsibility, as you very well know, Fassi. Even though you are not taking the side of the other people.
No, I'm not taking the side. I know.
Let it be.
No.
I don't even have a problem. I don't even have a problem.
I know the code very well.
Yes, of course, I'm sure you do. So please, we do want your calls, but if you can see your way to letting bygones be bygones and take a fresh issue today. If any controversy happens today, let's address that controversy, but let's not resurrect controversies of 3 or 4 days old, please. Now, why the central plank is whether or not the Senate should be able to suspend its members, either the Senate or the House of Reps. And Fassi has explained how the court has already decided for us that you cannot deny people of their representation. No doubt the Senate is going to look at that. Well, Mr. Adekunle is calling in from Agege. Let me listen to this, Mr. Adekunle, very, very carefully. Mr. Adekunle, carry on, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Yakub, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Adekunle.
Okay, if you say so. Carry on. Yakub Adekunle.
Are you doubting him?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
He said it's Adekunle, not Yakub.
Oh, sorry. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. If you look at what is happening in the Senate Assembly, I can tell you categorically that the Senate President is a Garrison Colender. It's a Garrison Colender in the sense that he chooses who to suspend and who not to suspend. So funny is one of the Senate President boys. One time ago, Sani said they are leaking 13.5 million. And then the people that are in charge of dispatching the money says that they don't know anything about that.
Okay.
And then the money is illegal. What happened to Sani? Nothing. Senator Adibamelaye has made a lot of mistakes in that Senate Assembly. Nothing happened to him.
Okay.
See, the Senate President should watch his back. Nigerian citizen will write his own name in some other book.
All right, then. Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Adekunle in Agege. It sounded suspiciously like our dear friend Yakub, but if you say you are Adekunle, you are Adekunle. Thank you very much, Mr. Adekunle, for calling in. And I don't see what Mr. Adekunle said that Mr. Yakub couldn't have said if he had wanted to in his regular voice. But no problem.
When did you become a detective? When did you become detective?
Fancy. Has
the man taking a lie detector?
No, we just have to listen to these things and
he
be
said
very,
he's
very
not.
careful. Okay, so we have accepted
not in position now to...
Now his position is that he's really going along with your position that you can't deny people of representation. And then the point you made earlier, he also brought into focus that other people have done it. So there's this whole problem of, are they being selective? I don't know. I'm just trying to look at it from the point of view of, well, can you blame the leadership of the Senate for wanting to get all his ducks in a row?
Yes, that is if there's equity,
okay,
there's transparency, there's probity, there's accountability, and there's good conscience.
I see.
All these are lacking in the present leadership. Senator Dino Melaye.
So this calls all their actions into...
Yes, so that's why people are very wary of whatever decision being taken in the National Assembly. They see that, look, if you are against the leadership, then you are out of us. You are not one of us, and therefore we need to deal with you decisively. Whereas the beauty of democracy is for people to hold divergent views and for issues to be brought to the fore and for us to know where you belong and where you don't belong, and for us to harmonize all shades of opinion and form a theme that will deliver good democracy.
But you see, okay, let me take Super, who has called in again.
Super again.
He has called in again.
What's his name, full name?
Well, his name is Super, and I'm happy he has called in again. So let's take him, because we'll then go to the point that you made. Good morning again, Super.
Uncle Yari.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry the way I talked the last time.
No, I'm sorry too. I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry too.
I'll go straight to the point of Yari.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank my able dear doctor.
Yes.
For analyzing the thing very, very smoothly.
Sure.
Uncle Yari, have you been in a situation that you say brother must not hurt a brother? It may be in school, maybe in church, but I'll tell you what, Uncle Yari. I watched the video when the Senate President was saying that we have fanatics in this house. That is why that pro-Buhari issue was disbanded. That's number one. Number two, I watched the Ovia Agege when he was making that comment that this thing has been targeted by the president.
Yes.
He shouldn't have come out to the press and make such statement.
Okay.
He has the right to be angry. But there are ways we can dialogue this issue within the House. Not for you to come out for the whole world, and you're now making a statement. I can see his face. He's so angry when he was talking. And that is the problem with we. I'm an MP. I supported Buhari to the core that I nearly got lynched. When I was supporting Buhari, in my office, in BRT, in the banks, in my suburb, in my area, anywhere, I nearly got lynched. They said, look, what is the connection between you and this guy? You are from the east. Buhari is from the north. So why are you killing yourself because of Buhari? Because of his integrity. Although I was a little boy when he was the military head of state.
Okay.
But from the little boy that I was, I think I can hear the name Buhari, that this guy has an integrity. That is why I supported him to the core. So let's not blame the Senate President for whatever decision they take. Because a brother must not. If you know you're my brother, you shouldn't have hurt. You will not do anything to hurt me.
Okay.
We should be on the same page.
Thank you very much, Super.
Thank you very much, and have a good day, my brother.
Thank you very much for calling in, Super. Appreciate your call. Okay, that's your perspective on the matter. That sometimes it's necessary is the point that he is making. You know, fair enough. Fair enough.
I've not said that Omagege, what he did was right.
Yes.
I have not said that. But I said the punishment
did not match.
Was too harsh.
Indeed.
Was unconstitutional, was unreasonable, was unjustified, and was overreaching.
He was angry. Omagege was angry.
No, I said no.
I am adding.
Angry. I don't know whether it was angry. It was not only him that walked out, just that he was the leader.
It's just that people of that stature are not supposed to base decisions on anger.
I won't know whether
They're not supposed to base
I will not know.
comments on anger.
I don't know his physical disposition. I don't know his mental disposition.
Senate President Saraki said the other day that some people have taken a position against Mr. President's approval of 1 billion out of anger. The words "out of anger." You don't expect people of a certain height and caliber and intellectual, to be taking positions out of anger. And that's part of the problem. How mature are the people that we put in there?
In any case, who was anybody there to assess public opinion? Are they there? Are they actually assessing public opinion? Or they're assessing their own position or their own mind? Well, whether jaundice or not,
yes.
Whether popular or not, but because most of the things they are doing there are not popular.
Yes, okay.
They're not popular.
Well, especially when seen from our point of view.
No, not my own point of view. I'm an analyst.
I'm talking about not in this room, not in this, yes, on this set.
I aggregate, as a journalist, as a teacher of mass communication, I aggregate people's opinions. I don't let my own views to come up here.
I understand what you're saying.
But I'm saying that given the tempo, given the situation outside, people are not really happy.
They're not happy. But Senate, as you are also aware, it is their right to say, and they are saying so, that people, that they are often misunderstood and that they're doing the right thing.
Look, what you will say is their right to go back to their constituency and aggregate the views of their constituency.
I'm not sure very many senators do that. I agree. I'm not sure. Let's see now, who's on the line there? We got Samson in Warri. Good morning, Samson.
Good morning, Professor Nkuyori. And good morning, my doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I love this topic. This is my own. We are talking about our constituency today. Senator Omagege is from our hand, and it's a slap to the entire Urubos. We are not happy. Now, Nkuyori, let us get something right. The Senate, as a body, who are they reporting to? That's number one. Number two, if you could check what happened yesterday, even read it on your paper. He said, when Senator Abaribe said our president is incompetent, I don't think that one is a neat speech. I think that one is a normal speech to their own. When Shehu Sani discussed 13.5 million running cost, fine. That's not a speech. It's a normal deal. Police have been looking for Shehu Sani and this dancing senator, Dino Belai, for over many weeks now. No, that is not a speech. It's part of their work. Now, Nkuyori, when it comes to all those Senate, they know how to run to court. But when you take them to court, you will smell it. But let me now tell you, they should understand that we voted for this man, Senator Omagege. Even went through Labour Party, not even APC. Understand? So now, I don't think they have power. They have to look into this thing. Because let me tell you, Nkuyori, if you don't stop this, they will be killing themselves. I'm telling you. That's why you could see now, 3 or 4 of them have died under how many rules. They don't even think, they don't even look inward. They should stop all this and play a good politics. If I have an opinion, I can say it. Doesn't mean you should suspend me. Under law, they say you should suspend somebody for 1 week. They are saying they won 108 days. For what? This is intimidation. This is not democracy. Okay. Good morning, sir. Uncle.
Thank you very much, Samson, for calling in. Which goes back to the central plank of this conversation. Shouldn't a representative or a senator or any legislator, for that matter, be able to speak from his conscience? Because that's what people want.
I told you that the Senate, as presently constituted, is a Senate that is rancorous, that is divisive, that is only interested in the pursuit of its own agenda. It is not interested in probity, free speech, accountability, good conscience. Because, no, let me tell you.
Now, are all those ones your personal opinion?
No, I'm saying as a lawyer.
Okay.
As a political communication expert.
And as an observer.
And as an observer, as an analyst. I'm telling you, the last speaker said it that much. So many of the senators have said disparaging things about other people. Nothing happened to them. Some they even said the president
moment
was.
One of their own
Some
gets
they
up.
even said the president was Senate. Some said the president was this, was that, and not that. Nothing happened.
Yes.
Some said the president was incompetent. Some people said this and they won't make derogatory things about the president. So immediately, why should they be taking that position? And again, the law is not on their side.
Maybe the
maximum 7 days.
Yes.
Now just denying all central data central representation.
Maybe we've got to leave it here, but maybe we can leave it with a very short statement, which is that most people will believe that we deserve better from
of course, better representation.
We
yes,
deserve better than what we're seeing. People have commented that there are issues, you're not dealing with those issues, major issues.
Let me tell
all
you,
this domestic politics.
My own position, I've said it here.
Sure.
There are 5 realms. There are 5 estates of the realm. The executive, the legislature, the judicature, the media, and the people. All of us, the 5, we deserve better environment from each of these 5.
Indeed, effectively from each other. Effectively, what you've just said.
Because the followership itself is a problem.
So we're going to have to leave
the media is a problem.
So
the executive is a problem.
So
the executive is a problem.
We the people,
I said it.
We are also a problem. Oh dear. Well,
honestly, the 5 realms.
Bagbimo of Ijebuland.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your show this morning.
Thank you very much.
I wish you a safe trip to Ijebu-Ode. I'm sure you're touching Ijebu-Ode today.
I'm from Ijebu-Ode. What?
You're touching there today?
Within this 1 hour, God willing.
Thank you very, very much for your part, and I wish you a safe trip. So that's our program. I will see you, God willing, on Monday at 10:30 with a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Have a great weekend.